Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good morning, good night, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to another night. It is a Saturday night, I know, and I'm not normally here on the weekends. I'm not normally here on a Saturday night, but it is all about champs. Champs is in the air. It is about champs, and of course, it is about champs hype zone. And tonight we are here again with another school. So welcome wherever you're coming from. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Whether you're coming from Africa, Europe, Asia, Antarctica, Oceanic, North America, South America, whichever continent you're coming from tonight or this morning or this afternoon. Welcome, welcome, and thank you for being here. And of course, St. Mary High School is in the building. Yes, St. Mary High School is in the building tonight. Monday night, we had Fortis, Kingston College was here. Thursday night, we had Calabar and Hydel. And tonight, we will have St. Mary High School from the East, of course. The strongest of the East is here tonight. And also, I want to say welcome to each and everyone. And as you join us, we're just going to have just a quick chat with St. Mary to see what's going on and the buzz. And also, I want to say a special welcome to my very youngest fan, Josiah in New Jersey. Good night to you, sir. Good night, everyone. And thank you for being here. And remember to like, subscribe, do all the niceties. Okay, show me some love. And guess what? Champs is in the air. And of course, tonight we are repping St. Mary High School. On Monday night, I had on my purple and white. Thursday night, I had on my black and green and my blue and white for Heidel and Calabar. And tonight, I'm here in my green and yellow for St. Mary High School. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Jamaica's track and field legacy is unmatched. It is a story of triumph, resilience, and extraordinary talent. But do you know the stories behind the athletes who brought us glory? Hi, I'm HP, founder of HP Chat Track. My mission is simple, to celebrate the rich legacy of Jamaica track and field and shine a light on the incredible people who make it happen. Winning that race was a dream come true, but the journey wasn't easy. It's not just about medals, it's about inspiring the next generation. Jamaica track and field isn't just a sport, it's our pride, our culture, our heart. Every week I sit down with athletes, coaches and fans to bring you stories of dedication, passion and legacy. Plus, we've got exciting news and exclusive insights into the world of track and field. Make your Thursday night be at HP's place. Come hang out with us at HP Chat Track Studio, where track and field is our business. Jamaica. One people, one legacy.
Jamaica, one people, one legacy. Indeed, that is my motto, and that's what we are. And tonight, we are here with St. Mary High School. St. Mary High School is in the building. Coach Silvera, welcome, sir. How are you? How are things in the East?
Thank you, HP. First, I must say good night to people out there in TV land, in the diaspora in Jamaica, all over the world. Good morning, good night, good evening, good afternoon. I am blessed. St. Mary High is up and alive and doing well.
Awesome, awesome. I love that. I love that. I love that. But let us just get right into things, Coach. A matter of fact, before we get into about St. Mary High School and the program, just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, which parish you hail from, your high school, just a little bit, just to break the ice.
Born and bred in Highgate, St. Mary. St. Mary High is my alma mater.
Wow. Short and spicy.
Right.
Short and spicy. Coach, as you said, born and bred in St. Mary. St. Mary High School is your alma mater. So a lot of what I'll be saying tonight will not be strange to you because you are a part of that legacy. Did you play any sport in school though while you were at St. Mary High?
Football. I
Football.
represented the school in football.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome stuff. How did you tell us a little bit? Let us now start talking about coaching. How did you get into coaching, though, specifically track and field?
Well, from my early childhood days, my family is a sporting family, and my uncle had me playing cricket, running tracks, playing football. So I grew up with a sporting base and I just continued. I then, after leaving college, I actually went to Miramount High School to teach, where I became the head coach. And there's where my track and field career started.
Wow, from one St. Mary's school to another. Guys, come on in, come on in. It is about Champs Hype Zone, and we're just here to show the school some love and to rep their colors. If you can, as you can see tonight, I mean, a lot of school wear this color, but tonight it is all about St. Mary High
Well,
School.
HP, a lot of school were green and yellow. St. Mary High is green and gold.
Stop it, my man.
Okay.
Green and gold.
Gold.
Okay, okay, I get that. I get that. I
Yeah.
get that. That's fine. That's
So you
fine.
notice I'm in green and gold.
Yes, I noticed that your color, your yellow slash gold is a little different from mine, but I tried my best, I tried my best. But and it's funny that you say that because even with our flag, we a lot of people get confused with the color. Is it gold or is it yellow? Is it black, green, and gold, or is it black, green, and yellow. But a lot of people kind of wear, a lot of the schools kind of wear this similar combination that sometimes can be a little challenging.
A
But
little
as you
challenging. That is why we stress the goal at
yes,
St. Mary High.
okay, so hear that, guys? Say Mary High is not green and yellow, it is green and gold. But tonight, I'm still repping St. Mary High, even though I did not get it 100%. So come on in, guys. If you want me to see your comments, come on over to YouTube. Remember to like, share, subscribe. It is all about champs and it is all about giving each school some strength going into championship. Already we have Cassandra Mason, welcome, welcome. And she said, Silvera to the world. Of course, he is the man tonight, and it is all about St. Mary. But, coach, going back to your program and your parish and your alma mater, St. Mary High School is the strongest school, I would say, from the Eastern region. Many Eastern championship titles. Any pressure on you and your team to continue the tradition?
We felt a bit of pressure early season because the coaching staff that was with us for 8 years, some of the members left and we had a new coaching staff on board. We started our program in August and the rain came. Rain fell September, October, November. So we were a bit hesitant. We had challenges. We had to be, in Jamaican terms, chopping and changing, improvising to get the program up. But with the grace of God and the support of our support staff, we got things done.
Awesome, awesome. How has that? I know that you said that. Of course, we are people of resilience. When it comes on to that, nothing stop us. But has it significantly affected your preparations for championship?
Yes, we would have liked to have done other things in our preparation. But with the assistance of our head coach, Mr. Gerard Barrett, and our other coach, Mr. Tevon Thomas, we really sat down, we brainstormed, we say, hey, we are the powerhouse in the East. We will have no excuse if we do not perform. So we came up with unique and innovative ways. We had a group of students, or we have a group of students, who really believe in what we're doing. And yes, because we're improvising, tears come, pain come, but they're always there working with the program. And that is what took us to success in Eastern Champs this year. We have 9 consecutive wins now under our belt. This is our 28th overall title at Eastern. So yes, we're a powerhouse in the East. We are ready for boys and girls. We have some outstanding athletes going forward, and this is a time for St. Mary High to shine. We really at St. Mary High think that there is now a paradigm shift coming in track and field in Jamaica. And that paradigm shift is once again leaning towards the East. In 1976 and 77, we were girls champions. I think that paradigm shift is now leaning towards the East, and St. Mary High in the near future will be back on top.
I love it. I love that. And you are certainly right about 1976 and 1977, which we will talk about in a little bit. But as it relates to Champs is in the air, Champs is the ultimate for the juniors in Jamaica. We are just like what 3 days away. We
3
have
days away.
Right. A matter of fact, 2.5 days away, Sunday, Monday, because of course Saturday is almost over. But how are preparations going in terms of getting your athletes ready, getting them relaxed? I've spoken to other coach. I was talking to Coach Corey Bennett on Thursday night. He was talking about Calabar and Hydel and saying some of his athletes are now getting the jitters. How are you able to get your team to relax and get them psychologically motivated and relaxed for this?
Well, we have been doing a lot of mental preparation. We continue to talk to our students. We continue to talk them through their events. We do various things that we will not say publicly to get them relaxed. But
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I must say, we this year we have a group of students that are really driven, and they really want to go out there and compete to the best of their ability to make their school, their community, and their families proud. And with that drive, it makes our job much easier in getting them focused, relaxed, and ready.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. I've become a big fan of St. Mary and St. Mary High School myself because of some of the athletes that I've gotten to form, relationships with. But before we go any further, we have two-time Olympian, 1980, 1984 Olympian, Dorothy Scott Genius, formerly a Beer Technical, a powerhouse, and she's saying, hello, HP and coach. One of my best friends and college roommate is a St. Mary girl, and she's talking about none other than Leleith Hodges.
Yes.
Leleith, yes, Leleith Hodges, and
One,
she said, and
one of the
she
darlings out of St. Mary.
yes, one of the darlings indeed, and she is indeed a darling herself. Uh, Dorothy is also saying there is also green and gold and not green and yellow. So where is this yellow coming from? Why are we seeing so much yellow in kits that are supposed to be green and gold? Is it that we're not getting the colors right?
I cannot say, but sometimes people just want to be a bit different. But I must also send a shout out to Dorothy, because something I always joke about: St. Mary High won champs 76, 77.
And we're going to talk about that, coach. Where
Queen,
yes,
well, Queen stepped in 78. But
yes.
after that, it was another green and gold school for 20 years. So I just keep on joking and saying that Vera and St. Mary High took over champs for 22 years.
I love that. I love that. But you know something, it's I tell people all the time that I like the rivalry. The rivalry is good because at the end of the day, at the end of your chance career, it is going to be about Jamaica. And as Dorothy just said, one of her best friends and her college roommate was
Leleith.
is Leleith Hodges, who is formerly of St. Mary. So you have a former Vera girl and a former St. Mary High who are best friends.
Right.
And I've seen this a lot with our athletes. So thank you very much for that, Dorothy. And of course, Coach Silvera is claiming there that it is very interesting. It would be very interesting to hear what St. Jago will have to say what their color is. So now St. Mary High and Vera is saying that their color is actually green and gold. It will be very interesting to hear what St. Jago have to say. Good night, Kino. One Kino, good night. But coach, going back to you and the champ, are there any specific goals going into champs? Any specific achievements? Anything specific that you would want?
Well, we set ourselves a target. Since 2012, St. Mary High has not won a sprint medal at Champs, whether on the girls or the boys' side. One of our targets this year is to get a sprint medal. As a parish, we have produced a lot of quality sprinters. We are out in the doldrums too long. We need a sprint medal this year, and we're working assiduously towards getting that medal.
Wonderful, wonderful. St. Mary High has, as it is right now going into champs, has the likes of Rashid Grant, who is number one in the class two boys 800 meter,
100.
in the 800, right?
Right.
Right. You also have Tiana Rooms, who is among the top 10 in the
In
class
the
one.
100 at class one.
Right, in the 100 at class one. What is the mindset of the team like, knowing that you're going into champs with with pedigree?
Well, as I said, that these kids this year are driven. Tiana and Rashid are two of the team leaders, and the team members look up to them, and they continue to encourage Tiana. Continue to encourage Rashid, and because they know that they will do well, it is buoying them on to perform also well.
Awesome, awesome. And as I said earlier, champs is the ultimate for the juniors at home in Jamaica. Champs is a lot of things. Champs is champs and a lot
It
more
is the greatest youth meet in the world.
in the world. Indeed, indeed. But there is nothing like the pride of your country, national pride, country pride. And I noticed that from the St. Mary High School, you do have a number of athletes who will be vying for medals for the country at the Carifta Games. You have Janelle Eccleston, who will be a part of the under 17 javelin. Cheyenne Smith in the 100 meter under 17. Sakuya Palmer.
Sequoia Palmer.
Sequoia Palmer, sorry, in the high drum. I mean, how proud with this happening, how is this helping to motivate the camp, these young people? I know that you say they are driven, but to know that you will have Carifta representatives on this champs team, how is it helping the team?
I said to Mr. Barrett and Mr. Thomas immediately after Eastern Champs, because Carifta Trials was a weekend before Eastern Champs.
Mm-hmm.
I said to him immediately after Eastern Champs, if boys and girls was the following day, we would have won boys and girls. That is the hype that is now in the team. That is the buoyancy that is now in the team. That is why earlier I said everybody wants to go out there and perform to the best of their ability.
Wow. The East, the East is getting warm. But let us look at some of the achievements for St. Mary High School. Um, St. Mary High has produced a three-time Olympian, Leleith Hodges, 1972, 1976, 1980. Two-time Olympian, Jackie Pusey, 1976, 1980. Olympian 1996, Nickol Mitchell. Olympian again 1996, Percival Spencer. Doreen Small is another outstanding athlete out of St. Mary High School. Jodine Williams, who
And
just
today finished, was in the 60-meter
who
final.
right, she just competed for Jamaica in the 60 meters last night, is
Right.
also a
From
part
St. Mary
of
High.
St. Mary High School legacy. Coach, this tradition, St. Mary High School tradition, track and field tradition is very rich. Hearing about this legacy, uh, do you feel any real pressure? I know there's pressure going into champs, but is there any pressure on you and your team to start producing more Olympian? The last Olympian we saw for St. Mary High was 1996, a while back. Your thoughts?
Yes, 1996, Nickol Mitchell, Percival, Spencer. Since then, we have not had anybody representing Jamaica in the Olympics. But one of the things we do with our coaching program at St. Mary High is to prepare our athletes for the future. When you're in rural Jamaica and you have a quality athlete, the quote unquote bigger schools always come and pull away those athletes. So what you find sometimes is not that St. Mary has not produced Olympians, but they start at St. Mary High and they turn up elsewhere. John Reed, and John Reed is very recent. She's actually from Richmond. Richmond is 2 miles away from St. Mary High. But with our new thrust now, one of the things we're trying to do is to keep our athletes within the parish. And that is why we're pushing the new program at St. Mary High. We want to go back on top. We want our athletes to get the same opportunities that they get when they go to other schools. It won't happen in a day, but we have a plan. We're working towards a plan. It's coming together. And I know that in 2028, St. Mary High will have another Olympian on the team.
You know, you just raised a very important point when you said the big schools, because I'm going to call some names now, and they're all Olympians, and they are from St. Mary. Aileen Bailey is from St. Mary. Outstanding for very technical and Jamaica world and Olympic champion. Ruth Williams Simpson is from St. Mary,
Right.
Olympian for St. Andrew Technical High School.
That's
Beverly,
not falling.
Beverly McDonald
McDonald.
is also from St. Mary. She is an Olympian for Veer. Her brother, Michael McDonald,
McDonald. They are from Islington in St. Mary.
is another Olympian for Veer Technical. You mentioned Danny McFarlane is
Right.
also from St.
From
Mary.
St. Mary.
So you are right. So there are talents within the community, but how do you keep? And I remember when I did an interview with Aileen Bailey, 2023, I asked her the question. I said, before you went to Veer, did you not hear about Jackie Pusey or Leleith Hodges outside of St. Mary High School? And she said no. So some of the schools within the communities need to start looking internally and putting their legacy out there so that the young athletes coming up will see and said, okay, I want to go to St. Mary High because Leleith Hodges, who is a three-time Olympian, went there. Jackie Pusey went there. Her sister Judy Pusey, who is now a judge,
Judge Dennis Pusey.
went there. Tanya Stevens, who is one of Jamaica's top entertainer
And one of St. Mary High biggest
and
supporters.
one of St. Mary High biggest supporter. She's also from that school. So you have to know how to sell your school's legacy to attract, because Aileen said why she decided to go there was that they sold her the Merlin Otis story. And she
Well,
was caught.
well, what we have been doing is to our current athletes is to tell them a bit about the legacy. I
Yes.
personally I love to tell them about Percival Spencer and
Mhm.
Nickol Mitchell because those they are recent, right? But as I say, the drive now is to rekindle the fire in track and field that we had in the 70s and the 80s. And that is why champs this year is so important to us. Because when our youngsters see St. Mary High doing well, seeing athletes that they see every day in the community doing well, they will also want to come to St. Mary High. Currently, we don't have the resources to compete with the large schools. And I'm hoping that persons out there in the diaspora is seeing this interview and will come on board to assist us, because really track and field costs a lot of money. And as I said, the smaller schools don't have that funding. But St. Mary High has a lot of people out there in the diaspora. If they
Mhm.
if they come on board, we will become a powerhouse. And that is one of the things we are working forward to get these persons on board. Mark your HP. There are a lot of persons out there who have helped us. You can pick up the phone and call somebody and say, "Can you assist us with this?" And they will assist. But assistance cannot be too much.
True.
It cannot be too much, and I have to stress that. Um, Apart from champs, we have pen relays, we have other events, so the assistance cannot be too much. It's still not too late to contribute to the St. Mary High program this year. It's an ongoing program. It does not stop at boys and girls. It does not stop at pens. It goes on. So it is still not too late. Hit us up online at St. Mary High at cwjamaica.com, and we will tell you how you can contribute towards our program, because world St. Mary High is back.
I like that. And that was something I was going to ask you to do, to put the contact information out there, call out on the community and the alumni, the friends of St. Mary High School, and let them know that you guys, and this is why I do this program, so that schools can hear the cry of their alma mater and reach out. And you know what is one of my dream for Jamaica, coach, is that every parish developed like a mini city and have a mini stadium, because even Eastern Champs should not be coming to Kingston. Eastern Champs should stay in the region so that it can pull out the people in the community to come and watch track and field. Let the small business in the community benefit, bring out the people from other parts of Jamaica to St. Mary, Portland, and St. Thomas that make up this region and have a good time. So that is kind of one of my dreams, that somebody will start it and say, you know something, we are going to build a mini stadium within our region and let the regional meet or championship comes in. I would love to travel to St. Mary or wherever the stadium is for an Eastern chance to buy a boiled corn from the man on the corner, or the jerk chicken, or just come into a different place and try out some of the local food within that area, mingle with the people, let the people. How many people from St. Mary, Portland, and St. Thomas is going to come into Kingston for Easter Champs?
Um, if we add up all the schools in the East at the Eastern Champs, we may have 2,000 persons. But the dream you share, if you talk to every coach in the Eastern Secondary School Sports Association, ESA, they have that dream also. But one of the things that affect a lot of schools in the East, they have no proper playing fields to train on.
I know.
We have won champs almost 30 times. We don't have a proper play field. Right now, we can only get 4 running lanes on our play field. We cannot use the middle of the play field. And if you talk to a lot of schools in the East, they are faced with the same problem. So when you see we produce the likes of a Rashid Grant, a Cheyenne Smith, a Jodine Williams, a Nickol Mitchell, we are working miracles. And that is why once again, I'm saying we're appealing to persons out there in the diaspora. Come on board. Assist us. If we're doing this well with minimal resources, assist us to get a proper playing field, to get a gym, get the resources that we need, and you will see wonders coming out of St. Mary, coming out of Eastern Jamaica.
Indeed, indeed. And this is why I want at least one person to start it, because I realize that success breeds success. But before we go any further, let us say a special good night to a special person. Miss Leleith Hodges is in the building, and she's saying hello everyone and hello coach. And she's saying we have to make sure that we have some Olympians from St. Mary High School in the near future. We can do it. And she's also saying we have to come together to make it happen. One Kino, who is also a very good friend of mine from St. Mary, he's saying it's also affecting the primary schools, the football team, and he's saying the football field mash up. And this is where people within a community now need to call on their political leader, your MP. You need to call on your MP and say, Mr. MP, this is what we want to do. How can you allocate some funds to set up a regional facility so that when we have Eastern Champs, my mother, my grandmother can come instead of them have to travel to Kingston. Championships like these should be kept within the community so that we can spread the sport and we can have families supporting their children. JJR, formerly of St. Jago, Jamaica High Jumper, is saying, hi, Auntie Heather, this is Josiah. Good night. Good night, Josiah, my youngest and my youngest fan, Josiah, over there in New Jersey. Hello, honey. But going back to you, coach, we need to start something, and we are number 2 in the world in track and field, and we have done it so long with little or no resources. But I think now is the time for us to start stepping it up, because believe me, coach, we have the talent, the raw talents are out there. We just need an environment for them to fall into and to be able to get the kind of conditioning that they need.
HP, if I'm allowed to put in a plug on the political representative, St. Mary High School is located in central St. Mary. Currently, the member of parliament is Dr. Maurice Guy. St. Mary High is also his alma mater. Dr. Guy is always willing to assist. We can call on him and he will do his utmost best to assist us in whatever area he can. Yes, I'd love other member parliaments in the parish to also jump onto the St. Mary bandwagon, but they will tell you that they have other schools in their constituency. But I had to just stop and put in a plug for Dr. Maurice Guy. Medical issues, is willing to assist our students free of costs, right? Equipment, as long as we speak to him about this season, he donated over 50 pair of track shoe and spikes to the team, and he has been doing that over the years. Every Eastern Champs that I have been since he's member of parliament, he has turned up to support St. Mary High.
Special good night to Dr. Maurice Guy. Thank you for being a big part of this, sir. Thank you very much. A special good night from us over here at HP Chat Track. And this is the kind of support that we need. And I get it when you said other MPs or other political figureheads are saying that there are other schools. Yes, there are other schools, but we need to make it a community initiative. It needs to be a community initiative. Build the facility within the community and let it sustain itself. Let
HP, I want to get into trouble.
Please do.
Everybody in St. Mary who is over 45 years old and attended high school went to one of two high schools, either Miramount High School or St. Mary High. If you look in corporate Jamaica now, we have a lot of St. Mary people who are CEOs, etc. Right? One of St. Mary High top hurdlers, and I'm not pointing fingers at him, but one of St. Mary High top hurdlers is RJR's executive director for corporate affairs, Mr. Gary Allen. He was a super hurdler.
Wow, I didn't know that. Mr. Gary Allen, good night. He's formerly of St. Mary High School?
Yes, when I was at St. Mary High, he was a deputy head boy. His sister, who is currently the principal of Highgate Primary,
So we're calling on Mr. Gary Allen. Mr. Gary Allen, we're calling you. We are calling you. We need some help, sir, for your alma mater, St. Mary High, that has won 2 girls' championship, which we are going to talk about in a little bit. And I'm glad
the school in the east.
the school in the east. Yes. Titchfield won a girls' champs also a little earlier than
earlier.
Right, yes.
When
But
we didn't have so many persons competing.
But hear this now, coach. We're going to get in trouble now because the very people are going to come at you. St. Mary High broke their break up their party 1976 and 1977 to win 2 girls' champs titles back to back. That was just brilliant. That was outstanding. How often is this story used to motivate your athletes, telling them that you guys are champion, you've been there before, and you can go back there?
It is told a lot. It is told a lot. You talk to our students, they can tell you that we won champs. It is every time somebody from our administration meets with the athletes, they always talk about the glory days of St. Mary High. And we are going to get back to those glory days.
St. Mary is indeed a powerhouse. When you talk about Olympians, the name St. Mary High is in the mix, is very much in the mix. A matter of fact, one of Jamaica's most versatile athletes that she ran on both relay teams every Olympic Games that she has gone to, and that is one Jackie Pusey. She was one of the most versatile athletes. She ran on the 4x1 relay team, and she ran on the 4x4 relay team for Jamaica. She's one of the few athletes. Another one is Sharika Jackson from Veer, and also Grace Jackson, formerly of the Queen School. But Jackie Pusey was a staple on Jamaica both relay teams. So St. Mary is a big deal. And guys, if you're just joining us, welcome, welcome. It is Champs Hype Zone. Monday night I was with Kingston College in my purple. Thursday night I was in my black and green and blue and yellow, blue and white, blue and gold for Calabar and Hydel. And tonight I am here with St. Mary High School out of St. Mary. And of course, they're correcting me that their colors are green and gold, not yellow. Go ahead, coach.
Jackie Pusey. I'm going to show you how outstanding Jackie was. 22.99 as a high school girl in the 70s.
Wow.
Currently, the Jamaican high school record is held by Brianna Liston. 2053. The national junior record is held by Brianna Williams. 2050. That shows you that is almost
2250.
Yeah. That goes to show you how good Jacqueline Pusey was.
Yes.
That her and that 22.99 was only bettered by Veronica Campbell in, I think it was 1999, while Veronica was at Veer. So that record stood for almost 30 years. That just goes to show you the exceptional athletes that St. Mary do produce.
And I agree with you, Coach. I totally agree. And this is why we're here. And this is why my tagline will say Jamaica Track and Field Legacy, and it will also say Jamaica, one people, one legacy. Because at the end of the day, after their high school career, it is about Jamaica going forward. It is about Jamaica. So it doesn't matter which school we're repping right now. It is about Jamaica's legacy at the end of the day. And thank you for sharing that information about Jackie. Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Right. You see, yes, Champs is competitive, but remember this, HP. Immediately after Champs finish and you are on a national team, it is no longer Calabar versus KC or Edwin versus Highland. It is Jamaica. And out of this, we have people become friends, become lifelong friends, relationships are made. Right? Remember, our motto says, out of many, one people. So when we go on the international stage, we become one
people. Hey, I love that. I love that. And that is why my tagline is said Jamaica, one people, one legacy. Not two, not three, one people, one legacy. But before we go further, Josiah is saying, I am famous. Nadine Silvera is saying, good evening, talk the things, coach. Yes, Nadine, we are talking the things because tonight is about St. Mary High School and calling out that support, getting that support to sustain the track and field program that has produced some outstanding people. Dorothy Scott is saying, HP, they did not break up the party. Veer's entry was supposedly late, so we did not get a chance to defend our title 1976. Now, coach, you heard what Dorothy said. Dorothy said Veer's entry was late 1976, so they did not get to defend their title.
Right.
But St. Mary came back and won 1977. So what was the excuse?
So I'm saying to Dorothy, don't say that we won Champs 76 on a technicality. We did not win Champs on a technicality. We won Champs.
Calling out Dorothy.
1977, we defended our title. So it was no fluke. Whether Veer was there or not, the school that is known as the Banana Republic with its motto, Faith and Courage, formed January 12, 1960, would have won Champs 1976.
Yes, I love it. You hear that, Dorothy? It was no fluke. If you were there 1976, Veer was going to get beaten. And that's what Coach is saying. And Coach is sticking to his story. And I love it. That team, though, that St. Mary had 1976, 1977, it was just special. A super team. It was a super team.
Special. It was special. It was a super team. They had so many people. Jackie Pusey, Leleith Hodges,
Doreen was also on that team.
Yeah, they had so many. They had so many persons. right?
Wow.
But
Wow.
every time I talk of the past, and I always say to my kids, if you don't know your past, you won't know your future.
Indeed.
So we are in the future now, and we're rebuilding the
Mhm.
future.
I love it, Coach. I love it. I love it. I'm learning about St. Mary tonight. I've been a fan of St. Mary High School for a little while now. So now that I'm getting in, more to learn more about the institution, it is indeed eye-opening. But Coach, let us switch up the conversation a little bit. The conversation about age fraud is getting louder and louder and louder. And I'm not sure if I'm sure that you may be following this space, especially as it relates to international students from Africa. What are your thoughts on this loud conversation that we're having?
Um, my thoughts are twofold. When Kingston College brought Aria Manny Rogers to Jamaica, it helped our distance program unbelievably. As a schoolboy, I was in the stadium the night when Kenroy Levy, Burgess, and who was the other one? Burgess from Morant Bay and another athlete all ran 148 for the 800 meters. That record became a dynasty at champs. Aria Manny Rogers came here, Kevroy Venson, Christopher Kemar Farquharson stood up, put up their hands, were counted. 2 years later, Farquharson broke that record. It has been broken, I think, twice since then, or broken once and equaled by the outstanding Javon Blake. So, yes, it's good, but I personally think that the mass influx of African runners may hurt our middle distance program in the long run. Because if you bring in 3 or 4 African athletes, what that does is only 2 athletes can compete, can represent the school in a particular event at champs. So it kills our developing athletes. Mark you, as I said to somebody recently, if we're going to bring the Africans here to help our distance program, we cannot bring so much. We go and target people who will help us with pacing. And why I say my thing is twofold. The Caribbean is short on resources. Jamaica is the sprint capital of the world. So, yes, we have to help our Caribbean neighbors. That is why my answer is twofold. But helping our neighbors, as long as it does not kill our program, I am fine and I am okay with it. I just don't want for it to kill the Jamaican program.
I like your answer. That's a good enough answer. And the thing is that it has been proven, and I like how you speak, Coach. You use data, and you spoke about Ariamana Rogers and Kevroy Benson and Kemar Farquharson. It has been proven that we can develop the talent here because when I interviewed Coach Messias, who was the brains behind Kevroy Benson taking on the 5,000, Rogers was not able to defeat Kevroy Benson in the 1,500 or the 5,000.
Right.
So it has been proven that, and before that, Kevroy Benson was not running the 5,000. Before 2018, he wasn't running the 5,000. He ran the 5,000 2018 and 2019, defeating Rogers, all that hype was
Was
around
around.
Rogers.
Mm-hmm.
All that hype was around Rogers in 2017, and in the 1,500 when he met the pair of Kevroy Benson,
And they double teamed him.
They did exactly that, and it to date is one of my favorite races at Champs. And
Yes, it
Kestrel
is.
Benson came back a year after because his coach, Mr. Messias, said to him, good night to Mr. Messias. He said to him, I can coach you to win. He didn't say coach him to defeat Rogers. He said, I can coach you to win. And
Yes.
that he did. So we have the talent here. Is it that we don't have the time? We do not have the time to develop the local talent. Gone are the days when our midland distance runners used to come from, as we call it, country.
Country. Country.
Country, that's what we used to say.
Mhm.
Is it now that we're denying these youngsters, male and female, an opportunity because we do not have the time to condition them?
Um, I will say no because Dwayne Johnson at Jamaica College took Javon Blake to 147.6. And I think the only two Jamaicans as schoolboys that have run 147 is Javon Blake and Never Mighton. So we can do it. We can do it. But one of the things I know about Jamaicans love hype.
True.
So until we get a true star in the 800 meters and the 1500 meters, we won't see a lot of people gravitating towards the middle and the long distance. A lot of people look up to Natalia Gould. It's not that we have not produced persons with quality, but when they go to college, I don't know if the work is too much or they decide to go into other fields. But if you look over the last 20 years, we have produced, especially on the female side, some quality middle distance
True.
people.
True. But you know something, coach? I've seen where other countries are putting things in place to condition their own athletes. So if they do not want to go overseas, then there's a place for them. This is something that I've been lobbying for a while, that we need to have a system in Jamaica where our middle and long distance athletes who are leaving high school, if they did not get a scholarship, if they don't want to go to college, there is a place where they can go to further develop their talent. But when you look at the clubs that we have in Jamaica, their their reputation, their legacy is sprinting. A high school student who is running 148 leaving school this year, and he said, Coach, I don't think I want to go overseas. Where is that athlete is going to go to further develop? And sometimes we say they run so good in high school and then they disappear. Is it that they disappear, or there's nowhere for them to go to continue their development?
Um, I think there's somewhere because GC Foster College, people from in the Caribbean, student athletes from in the Caribbean, come to GC Foster to continue their career. So yes, GC Foster is one of those. I will agree with you. We don't have a true middle distance club in Jamaica again because, as I put it, the hype theory. Everybody wants to sprint, but I'm forgetting his name now. But a young man from, I think it was St. Vincent, who won at the CSC, the senior 800. He came to Jamaica College and he was developed here and he became CAC senior champion while at Jamaica College. So we have the tools to
But
prepare.
coach, the tool that we have is up to the high school level. After you leave high school, where do you go? Okay,
As
let me ask you the question, coach. I'm an 800-meter runner, and I'm a boy, I'm running 1 minute, say 49, 48, 49, and I'm leaving high school. I don't want to go overseas. I want to continue in a club. Which club would you encourage me to go, Coach? Coach Silvera, where would you encourage me to go?
Um, to be honest, I think the only club in Jamaica I would encourage you to go, and it's because of their reputation, is the MVP with the Stephen Francis group.
I see what you're saying, but okay, let us look at data. I love to use data. For me to go to MVP or races, you would have to show me a track record. Show me the success
There,
stories.
there
In
is no, there is no empirical record to say that this will happen. And why I said the MVP, Stephen Francis and Paul Francis are two of the greatest coaches
and I
this
agree with
world
you. I
has ever
agree.
seen. If you go to Stephen and Paul,
And
they
say I'm
will
an 800-meter runner, they will.
they will bring out the quality in you.
So
No
why
matter.
is none of our middle distance, or why is it that none of our middle and long distance school leavers not at any of the clubs in a matter of fact, Coach, this is a very sensitive topic. This is a very emotional topic for me because I like the middle and long distance, and I've seen where we are having track meets, and track meets are stopping at the 400. One of our first medal at the Olympic Games was the 800-meter with Mr. Arthur Wayne, back to back.
To George Roden. Yeah, I know, but yes, we know we have a middle distance problem locally. It's a problem.
Coach, I'm not seeing all your face.
We have a
Yes.
middle distance problem in Jamaica. I will admit that, right? Um, a lot of our middle distance athletes, they try to go abroad because there is not enough competition here. When you put on a development meet or a senior track meet, the 800 will carry 5 or 8 persons. The 100 will carry 15 heats, right? I just think we have to find some way to say to the kids that, listen me, if you stay in Jamaica and train, Michael College, GC Foster, MVP, Sweat, there are a few clubs there, that Sprint Tech, that if you stay, we can develop. Not that you may become world beaters overnight, but development has to start somewhere. And I'd love for some of our top coaches, the Stephen Francis, the Glenn Mills, the Keely Smith, you name them, to look at a few of our middle distance people and say, hey, stay in Jamaica. We will work with you. And it
I
can.
agree. I like that. I need someone to find me. I need someone to find me because I we need it. We need something like that. And I need somebody to reach out to me and said, HP, let us do it. We need somewhere for our middle and long distance athletes to go. We need to develop them ourselves. And if we don't have a place for them to go when they leave school, they're either going to, those who are doing the 800 might try the 400 because that's where they can get proper conditioning.
Right, right.
Others might try to go overseas and never transition, but I think we need to have something of our own and let an athlete know that, okay, I'm leaving school and I'm running this. Let me try this club to see if I can get down to a 144 or a one something, whatever the qualifying mark is for a championship. But before we go further, let us just look at some comments here. Okay. Tony's King is here saying rep, good night, welcome, thank you for being here. Okay, Dorothy Scott is saying, okay, so that was her entries. Kino is saying Joanna Reed is also from St. Mary.
Yeah, she's from Richmond in St. Mary.
Kevona Davis is
She's
also
from
from St.
Richardson
Mary.
Gale in St. Mary.
And Javon Mattison, formerly of KC, Kingston College,
Kingston
is
College
also.
from
So,
St. Mary.
so you see what is happening, Coach? This is why, the community have to find a way to keep their people so that and I don't have a problem with children going all over the island to go to school. I think it is a good thing. It's a wonderful thing because it is one Jamaica. But St. Mary seemed to have a whole lot of talent. Dorothy is saying, Coach, and this one is for you. Coach, I was just getting to like you, but you're making it very hard. You don't know what very hard. It would have been very hard to beat us. I'll give you 1977. So Dorothy is still sticking to the story that Very Technical would have won 1976. She's also saying, She's also saying Leleith, well, that conversation is about her and Olympian Leleith. Welcome, Sue Miller. Sue Miller is here. She's saying, sup you all. So we can tell that Sue Miller is either millennial or a Gen Z, but welcome, Sue. One Kino is still here. Everyone's still here. Kino is saying the same thing in the primary schools. Most of the meets for primary stop at the 400 meters, but yet they have to run the 800 and the 1200 at the Sagicor champs.
True, true.
But that makes no sense, Coach.
It does not make sense. I do agree with you. In years gone by, when it was Blue Cross, you could always look forward for St. Mary at the primary level to be producing distance runners. That would transition to a Very Technical in the day, a St. Jago, a KC, a Calabar. But I think one of the things that is affecting the middle distance at the primary school is that normally the kids you have running the middle distance are the grades 5 and 6. With the all-age system out now, and we have primaries, you don't have the bigger children anymore. So in developing our athletes, we cannot ask, a lot of people will not ask their 10 and 11-year-olders to go over distance. I think that is the problem that is now affecting us. That is why I would love to see at CHAMPS, we now bring in a class 4, where it would grab those 12 and 13-year-old boys to participate in, boys and girls to participate in the middle distance. Yes, we have a class 4 girls at CHAMPS, but again, it stops at the 400. Right? So I think our administrators, people at ISA, people at the J3s, they need to look at this seriously and see how we can revitalize and regenerate our Midland long distance program.
Totally agree with you. And Coach, just switching back now to champs and preparation. A lot of schools depend on their alumni for funding. I've seen a budget for just one season for a school, and the figures made me dizzy. How do you do it, Coach, for an entire season in terms of funding to sustain your program?
Fundraising, assistance from people in the diaspora, and I have to call out to some people in the diaspora who has always assisted us. Mr. Godfrey Walker is one of those persons who is always willing to assist us at St. Mary High. Tanya Stevens is on board, willing to assist us, and others. But sports at the school level is expensive. It is really, really, really expensive. We have to do a lot of fundraisers. Some of us have to become quote unquote, in my words, professional beggars, because you have to be asking everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that we do at St. Mary High is we say one cocoa full basket, every mickle make a muckle. So
Yeah.
you just ask, and persons will come forward and contribute what they can contribute, right? There are just some persons out there in our community who really loves track and field, and they will do anything they can do to assist us. But we need more of those good Samaritans. We
Mm-hmm.
need
Mm-hmm.
more. We need a lot more. And I think St. Mary High have the good Samaritans. Is just for us to find them.
Yes, to access.
Just access.
Yes, to get access. And this is why I lobby for the regional championships to be kept at home, because this will minimize cost for a lot of the teams. You would spend less money to travel. But when you have to come into Kingston for a 2 days championship, you have to find accommodation for your team. You have to pay for transportation, food, hydration, the whole works. It must be expensive. I mean, I saw a budget for one season and I could not believe how expensive
It is.
it
It,
is.
it is. But one of the things that will really help development in the East is if we get a running track
Mm-hmm.
in
Mm-hmm.
the East.
Yeah.
Um, I know I may be knocked over the head for this tomorrow or Monday when he sees me, but Mr. Gerard Barrett started an initiative recently, or he became bold, and boldness is what gets you a lot of things at times. After the refurbishing contract of a stadium for the stadium was signed, he actually wrote to RSVP Regan Paul. It is a company who had done the track before this one, to
Mm-hmm.
say, hey, we need a track in St. Mary. Make an investment in St.
Yes.
Mary. He has not yet gotten a response, but I'm really hoping that a favorable response will come, because
Yes.
the surfaces that we have, that we're producing quality people on, if we have proper surface, the powerhouses in track and field will fear the East.
Yes. I like that. I think based on what we are doing in track and field and what we have become as a country, I strongly believe and I lobby for it that I think every region should have a mini stadium. It doesn't have to be a big stadium. You don't have to have stands all the way around. You can have the stands on both sides. I live overseas and I've gone to track meets in Florida, and it is not a big stadium and it doesn't have a lot of seating. But you know what they have? They have stands on both sides of the stadium, so we don't have to have a big
We don't have to.
luxurious stadium. You just need a mini stadium with a 400-meter track that has the facility that is needed for, and I think every region in
GC
Jamaica
Foster, GC
should have
Foster
one.
has a small stand. The Stadium East is a small stand. Jamaica College is a small stand. And
Hmm.
these people host track meets every week.
Yes.
What we need is a track. The
Hmm.
stands will come.
The stands will come. Yep, yep. Every region should have a mini stadium, and their championship should be held within their
Within the
community.
region. Within the
Yes,
region.
that's how I feel. It should be held so people in the community can come out and support, and the
Support.
small businesses can earn, can
Right.
be able to generate a little revenue when they come out with their stall to sell their water, to sell their soup, to sell
And
their boiled corn, their jerk chicken,
the
whatever it
thing
is.
is, HP, these are the little small business persons who keeps our program going. So if we
Wow.
have a regional meet, it will even buoy them to do
Yes,
more for us because they'll be making more, they'll be bringing in more income and they can contribute more. You see
indeed.
behind me that you saw in the background, a distance really. It's an event that we had for the first time at St. Mary High this year. And our sponsors are all local sponsors.
Hmm.
Supremacy Water, Hubbard's Service Station, Jiwi's Food. These are all business places in Highgate.
Yeah.
And when they were approached, they never refused. They just say, yes, send the information to us. Tell us what you need. There are persons out there that
Hmm.
are willing, but we also need to help them.
Yes, yes, you have to support their business for them to support you. And I'm hoping that this conversation will go, viral in the St. Mary community so that, and as I always say, no contribution is too small. No donation is too small. It will add up and it will work. But coach, just quickly going back to champs, new track, excitement, the buzz, the whole work. What is the conversation like within your camp as it relates to the new stadium and your athletes?
We are looking forward to Wednesday night.
Wow.
We are looking forward to Wednesday night.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday night will tell Jamaica how good the track really is.
Yes, sir. I totally agree.
Good.
I totally agree. Wednesday night is the night.
Is
That
the
will,
night.
yes. And people, if you don't know what that means, is that Wednesday night will be the night for the 100-meter finals at the boys and girls championship. Seven of them, four on the girls side and three
Three on the
on
good
the
side.
boys side. Indeed, indeed. What can we expect from your team at Champs, coach? In wrapping up, what can we expect from Saint Mary? Of course, you know that I'll be cheering on all the schools, but Saint Mary in particular. What can fans and supporters expect?
Okay, last year on the girls' side, we garnered 50 points.
Nice.
This year, we are looking to better that 50 points. We want to cement our place in the top 10 this year. Last year on the boys' side, we had 6 boys. They contributed a total of 23 points. They brought, on the boys' side, they brought home 3 medals, I think it was. No, 2 medals. We want to better that this year. That is our benchmark, to cement our place in the top 10 on the female side and to improve on what we have started with on the boys' side.
Sounds good. It sounds to me like you have a very solid plan for your team. But before we go, coach, I guys, welcome again. Thank you for being here. We will be wrapping up shortly. Thank you for being here from Africa, Asia, North America, South America, Asia, Antarctica, Oceanic, all the seven continents. And somebody said to me the other day when I mentioned the continents, they said to me that I did not mention the Caribbean. So, guys, just to let you know, the Caribbean is mixed up in the seven continents. Some of us are
HP, you
in
are wrong. HP, I
the
am
Caribbean.
stopping.
Sir, the Caribbean is not a continent.
When it comes to track and field, HP, the
Sir,
Caribbean, the Caribbean is
sir,
a continent.
sir, you are a teacher. Don't tell the students. But I get it. I get it. Somebody said to me, HP, how come you don't mention the Caribbean? Of course, the Caribbean is always. But the thing is that we're mixed up in different continents. Parts of the Caribbean is in North America. I think part is in South America. So we're kind of mixed up. So, but just to let you know, the Caribbean is not a continent.
No, no, no.
But
Really, it's not a continent. Just in track
yes,
and field terms.
yeah, just for track and field talk, we are a continent by ourselves, but
Yes.
geographically,
Well, we are not. We are in the
yeah, we are
Americas.
not. We're
We're
not.
in the Americas.
Right. So somebody had said to me that, how come you don't big up the Caribbean? And that's because we're not a continent by itself. But in track and field world, one Caribbean.
One
And
Caribbean.
on top of one Caribbean, one Jamaica, one people. But coach, before we go, Dorothy's saying, folks, remember to like, share. Yes, please, guys. I never can remember. I get so caught up in these discussions that I never remember to say like, share, subscribe. Please to do that for me. Please to show me some love. Please to spread the legacy. And of course, I need this video to go viral for Saint, especially for St. Mary High School, for them to get some support. We want Dr. Maurice Guy to see it. Yes, he is a big contributor for St. Mary High School. We also want Tanya Stevens to see it. I'm a big fan of her music. We also want her to see it, and of
We
course,
want Mr. Godfrey Walker to see
we
it
want
also.
Mr. Godfrey Walker to see it. We want Mr. What's his name? Gary Allen
Gary
from
Allen to
the
see this.
RJR group, who is also an alumnus of a St.
St.
Mary High
Mary
School.
High.
We want all the St. Mary, we want St. Mary to get all the help that they can get, because they are a two-time Girls Champs winner. And of course, they have contributed to Jamaica rich track and field legacy. St. Mary High School is why we can be here tonight to talk about Jamaica track and field legacy, because they too have contributed to the legacy. Tivon Thomas, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. He said, thank you, Mr. Silvera, for representing St. Mary High School and the coaching staff. You're truly appreciated indeed.
Mr. Thomas is a part of our coaching staff.
Okay.
And Mr. Thomas is a former Olympian.
Wow, what you're saying to me, Mr.
He represented Jamaica in the Special Olympics, at the Olympics, the Commonwealth Game, the World Championship, and he has won medals at all of them.
Wow, Mr. Thomas, welcome. Another Olympian for Jamaica in the Special Olympics. Welcome, Mr. Thomas. And also, he is a member of the coaching staff at St. Mary. St. Mary really turned out tonight. St. Mary High School, aka Mary's High. Nadine is saying, big ups, one Silvera, never two. St. Mary High School to the world. I totally agree. And of course, we had Olympian Leleith Hodges, who is also a big part and a darling of St. Mary and St. Mary High, and a wonderful, wonderful person. I met her since I've been doing this podcast, and she is just outstanding. Wonderful lady. So Auntie Leleith, as I call her, big up yourself, big up Auntie Dorothy. One Kino, my good friend. One Kino said, HP, you missed three. Okay, one Kino is saying I missed three of his comments. Let us go back to see what Kino said. He said middle distance is rebuilding in Southeast St. Mary. Of course, middle distance is rebuilding in St. Mary. And I just have to let you guys know that I am a part of that. Wherever you hear HP1K, that's myself and Kino. So we're trying to rebuild this part of our legacy that started way back in 1948 with Mr. Arthur Wynne winning silver at the 1948 games, and also at the 1952 Olympic Games. So that was where we started, guys, and we need to go back there. But coach, what we're going to do now is we're going to play a little game, coach, before we go. So you are going to tell me something about St. Mary High School, and I am going to tell you something about St. Mary High School. And if I'm wrong, you can correct me, because you are representing your alma mater. So you go first.
Well, in the 80s, we were called the Banana School.
The Banana School, very interesting. Why?
Well, you know, St. Mary is a banana parish.
Yes.
And on our school emblem, there is a picture of the banana tree and the coconut tree. Some people say it's a coconut tree with a banana on it, but we were called the Banana Parish. This year, at our 65th anniversary, we once again went back to the Banana Parish. So if you look on our new flag, if you go on our website now and look on our new flag, you'll see the flag with the banana tree on it. So yes, we
Interesting.
were called the Banana Parish.
I did not know that. So you hear that guy say Mary High was called the Banana
Banana
School
School.
back in the 80s. Okay, so this is what I know about St. Mary. St. Mary High School officially opens its doors January 12, 1960. Am I correct, sir?
Yes, you are correct.
Okay, indeed. It is your time again to tell us something about the school.
Fortunately, some of those students who attended St. Mary High in 1960, on the 12th of January, they are still alive, like our former Vice Principal, Mrs. Bedward. And at our church service this year, they were there live and in living colors, and they were honored. So a lot of our first students that walked through the doors of St. Mary High are still alive and still.
Amazing. Amazing, amazing. God is good. God is good. My next point about St. Mary is the school, St. Mary High, started with 69 students,
Students.
31 boys and 38 girls, and four teachers, including the principal, Mr. L.W. Brown.
Oh,
Is that correct?
yes, it is correct.
You two for me.
It is
Okay,
correct.
your time again, coach. Go ahead.
St. Mary High have produced some wonderful athletes. The likes of Jacqueline Pusey, Olympian, Leleith Hodges, Doreen Small, Nickol Mitchell, and Nickol Mitchell, World Youth Champion, World Junior Champion. Percival Spencer, coveted title at Boys Champ Sprint Double Champion. He is still the fastest St. Mary High School boy ever at 9:95 in the 100 meters.
Woo! St. Mary, St. Mary, St. Mary's legacy. St. Mary High legacy is very, very rich. My next point now, St. Mary High School is located in Highgate, St. Mary. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct. Main Street Highgate, right on the roundabout.
I got 3 out of 3. You will close the show, coach, with the last one.
St. Mary High has two students who, from they entered St. Mary High, they have never left St. Mary High. Our vice principal, Mr. Nicholas Taylor, and the coach of our football team, Mr. Kenroy Reed.
Wow. Wow.
They
That
have
is
never left.
amazing. They graduated, but they never left.
They never left.
Amazing. And with that said, guys, St. Mary, St. Mary, St. Mary High School. So I got 3 out of 3. And I also have to thank Kino for helping me with the location of St. Mary High School because I don't know much about St. Mary, but all I know when you leave the junction and before you start that stretch, there's a left turn and it goes to Highgate. So every time I talk to Kino, I want to know if that's where you go for Maria, if that's where you go for Boscobel, if that's where you go for Anota Bay. But he told me that you go straight, but for Highgate you take that left like you're going down.
Okay, straight will take you to Anota Bay. Straight
Okay,
can also take you to Port Maria. But if you
okay.
go through you go through Highgate, then you go to Port Maria, you go on to Boscobel. So Highgate is one of the hubs of St. Mary. When you're in Highgate, you can go to Guysill, which is in St. Catherine.
Mm-hmm.
Highgate can take you to Linstead. Highgate takes you to Kingston. Highgate can take you to Port Antonio while you have to head back to Anota Bay. It takes you to Ochirio. So Highgate is one of the hubs in St. Mary.
Awesome, awesome.
The highest point in St. Mary is also located on the outskirts of Highgate. a community by the name of Cromwell, where Miramount High School is located, is the highest point in St. Mary.
Wonderful, wonderful. Didn't St. Mary had a chocolate company called Highgate Chocolate?
Highgate Chocolate, then it moved to Cadbury. It is now based in England. But yeah, we used to produce. Remember, St.
But
Mary?
wasn't Highgate Chocolate our product, a Jamaican product?
Yes, but Cadbury bought it out. I can't give you the full details, but
No,
yes,
that's
Highgate Chocolate, then it went to Highgate Foods, then Cadbury, which is a British company,
yes.
basically took it over and it closed down. But back in those days, in the 80s, St. Mary used to produce chocolate, banana, coconut, sugarcane.
Chippy's banana chips.
Chippies, banana chips.
No, it's St. Mary. No, it's St.
St.
Mary banana chips.
Yeah, St. Mary banana chips is different from chippies, but yes, St.
Yeah.
Mary has always been the number one banana chip producers in Jamaica.
Wow, wow. St. Mary, man. And St. Mary also have their own airport.
Yes, we have the Ian Fleming International Airport, formerly Boscobel. One of our hopes this year, and again, we're looking support from the alumni, is
Yes,
that when the St. Mary High School track team goes to the Penn Relays in Philadelphia on the 24th of April, we fly out of the Ian Fleming International Airport. It will be
look
one of
at you.
it will be
Look
one of
at
the
you guys.
was.
Wow.
But currently, the only aircraft that flies into the Ian Fleming is American Airlines.
American Airlines.
So
Awesome. St.
greatest
Mary is a big deal. As Capleton would say, St. Mary me come from.
yeah, man, the fireman, man.
Yes, man. Yes, indeed, indeed. Saint Mary, Saint Mary. The comment section is blowing up. Let us just look at some more comments before we go. Nadine Silvera is saying the uniform was okay. She's saying the uniform was yellow. I did not know that.
Yes, St. Mary, I had two shifts. One shift used to wear green. I think it was a morning shift that used to wear green, and the evening shift used to wear yellow. Just the other day, we had a uniform day at school, and a few teachers who St. Mary was also their alma mater, they actually wore their yellow uniforms to school
Wow.
because they were on. So it was initially the school was on two shifts. So it was green in the morning, yellow in the evenings.
Okay, I see, I see, I see. So now there is just one shift, right? There's a
There's
morning.
just one shift. We have approximately 1,700 students. It's just
So
one
let me
shift.
ask you something, coach. If you guys used to wear yellow for one shift and green, how did you get the gold? Why
But
gold?
it's gold. It's gold. It's gold. Sorry. It's gold. It wasn't yellow.
It
It's
wasn't
gold.
yellow. Okay, okay.
Them days that when I was much younger, we
Mm-hmm.
we never have 15 shade of yellow. I just yellow or dark yellow. So we used to wear dark yellow,
Okay, okay.
which
Got
is
you, got you.
which is now gold.
Got you, got you. One track hero, welcome, welcome. Big up yourself. He's saying St. Mary build Jodine Williams. Yes, sir, we were talking about Jodine Williams earlier. Nadine is saying, HP, you need to come over to Highgate. You know, I've been there one time in my life, Nadine. I went to Highgate back in 1999, it was. So all I can remember is you taking that left turn when you come from Stony Hill and Golden Spring and all of
When you
that
come to a
place.
community named Broadgate and you get to the Aguatavale Bridge, you turn left. Highgate is 12 and a half kilometers from the bridge.
You mean that bridge? Yes, there is a bridge. You go over. That bridge is still there?
That bridge has been replaced with a modern bridge.
Okay, okay, okay. It was damaged by a hurricane, right?
Um, yes, and it was repaired and then damaged again by
Wow,
flood rains in 2008.
wow, wow. St. Mary, guys, tonight is all about St. Mary, the parish, St. Mary High School. And look here, St. Mary produced a lot of outstanding Jamaicans. We're talking about not just people in sports, but we're talking about Capleton, who is one of Jamaica's most prolific entertainers. Tanya Stevens, Marianne Hall, aka Lady Saw.
Lady Saw.
Lady Saw, who is my
Beresford
favorite.
Hammond.
Beresford Hammond is from Anata Bay,
Anata
St.
Bay.
Mary. I think I heard that Ninja Man is
Ninja Man is from
also.
Anata Bay, St.
So,
Mary.
so there, I mean, St. Mary is not no Dibby
I don't
Dibby
know,
parish.
Plan Parish.
No, it's no Dibby Dibby
There is
parish.
a mega parish.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I agree. And this is why I want my dream for Jamaica is every parish to be developed like a little mini state. You have your own this, your own that, you just have everything that you need. And one parish need to start it for everybody else to follow because too many times I've heard that St. Mary and St. Thomas are the forgotten parishes. And I don't think so because last year when I came down for the trials, I went to St. Thomas and I couldn't believe the roads that I saw.
You drove on,
Foreign,
drove on the new roads.
foreign road, man. The road looked
It
good.
is
And
my dream that the junction will become like St.
yes,
at
yes,
some
because
point.
I'm afraid of the junction. The junction is too scary, man.
It is,
On the junction, if you go into St. Mary, man, you have to live on the bank. You have to live. No. The Junction, Flatbridge, and Mount Russell, and Spurtree Hill, not my favorite places
well,
to
you
travel.
can now bypass Flatbridge, you can now bypass
Yes,
Mount Russell. So
true,
there's no
true.
need to fix the junction without destroying the topography of the
Yes,
junction.
yes, indeed, indeed. Dorothy Scott is saying, now I know why my husband loves banana chips so much. He's from a little town called Brennard in St. Mary.
Bernard in St. Mary. Bernard runs close to the border with St. Catherine.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. I'm learning tonight. I'm learning about
St.
St.
Mary.
Mary, I'm learning about St. Mary and Jamaica. And coach, I'm just going to give you, and Cassandra Mason is saying the best chocolate, and I totally agree. The Highgate chocolate was
Was
one of
the
my
best chocolate.
favorite. Yes, was one of my favorite thing because I think Claude Clark used to work at the factory, and he was very good friends with my father, and I used to get chocolate. So
Claude was the CEO.
oh, he was the CEO. Yeah, he was a very good friend of my father, and we used to get chocolate as children. I used to look forward to my Highgate chocolate. So, yes, I agree with you, Cassandra. Highgate chocolate was just the chocolate indeed. Nadine is saying St. Mary we come from, indeed, indeed, and of course, Capleton won't let us forget that. Monica Lewis, good night. She's saying good night, HP and guest. Kino is saying upper scheme from berries can come from and ninja come from around the lane.
Mhm.
See there,
Yeah, man, Bears come
Westmoreland
from,
Bridge.
I mean, Ninja come from, I think it's Cargill Lane.
Yeah, I know where Barris is from. I've been to his place. He's just a little bit out of Another Bay up on the
It's called
hill.
Itiborel.
Yeah, not too far. But
Uh-huh.
St. Mary, so coach, before we go, I'm going to give you one more opportunity to call out your alumni, the community for support, continuous support, because even though CHAMPS is almost over, you still need resources to continue to sustain your program because we would love to see St. Mary challenging again. Olympian Vivian Spence Moran is saying hello, everyone. Hello,
Big
Vivian.
up Vivian.
Oh, you know Vivian, another Olympian for Jamaica 1988, and also a Veer girl.
Another
Another,
here, girl.
yes, man, Veer is the powerhouse. But go ahead, coach, and big up call out your people.
St. Mary High formed January 12th, 1960, with 69 teachers and 4 students, with its motto being faith and courage. We at St. Mary High now believe, we have the faith that you out there, our alma maters, our past students, our former athletes, our friends, and our well wishers will come on board with us in 2025 and beyond so that our students can realize their dreams. Just like when you were attending St. Mary High and you had a dream and persons came on board to assist you with your dreams, we are now reaching out to you and asking you to help our children to dream and to get to their desired goals. The way we can do this is through your contributions. Contribute, contribute. St. Mary is not just a track and field school. We do everything. Contribute in whatever way you can to make the greatest school in Jamaica be great. Thank you.
Kaboom! Miss Dorothy, you heard that? The greatest school in Jamaica. Miss Dorothy, you heard that? You heard that, Coach? That was, yeah, that was refreshing. And I too am calling for support for all the schools. Reach out to your alma mater. It doesn't matter how much or what you can give. There's so many things that they need. Most of these schools will be in Kingston for 5 to 6 days. They're going to need food, water, hydration, blankets, bedding, tents. I heard that tent, I mean, even tent. I heard that to rent a tent for a day is something like $20,000, $30,000 for people who are renting tents.
The smallest tent you can get, which is a 10 by 10 tent, it's $15,000 for the day.
Wow.
Renting a 10 by 10 tent for 5 days, that's what, $75,000.
And that's a small tent. That's a small tent.
How many students you can put under a small tent? We have a unit going to CHAMPS of 41 athletes and coaches. 41 people can hold under a 10 by 10 tent.
Yeah.
Right? When we go into Kingston and we stay wherever we stay, we have to move the athletes back and forth from the location, from the residence that they're staying to CHAMPS. That also costs. Right? There are a lot of costs that is involved. And that is why I'm saying it's 2 days to CHAMPS, but it's still not too late for you to come on board and make a contribution with St. Mary High.
Indeed, it's not too late, people. There is still time, and there is next year, there's a year after. St. Mary has been doing this.
HP immediately after this, we have pen relays coming up, and we're really hoping that we can send teams to the pen relays because, again, as I said, we have some exceptional athletes, the likes of Cheyenne Smith, Tiana Rooms, who you spoke about earlier. We would love to give these athletes an opportunity to perform on the big stage. But again, our alumni, you are the ones who can help these kids to fulfill their dream. They have the faith, they have the courage, they have believed in the process, they have trusted the process. Now it is your time to come on board, just like how they are making you proud, to make them proud.
Indeed, well said. And we can't say this enough. They need the help. They need the help. I was looking at, and another thing that we can do too is to donate a tent. I mean, whomever, I was looking at the prices last night after speaking with Coach Corey Bennett, and he told me how much to rent a tent. I went and do my research. I think I was doing the research with Kino, and we were looking at the different prices for 20 by 20 because a 10 by 10 tent is a little something. So we were looking at so guys, if you're overseas and you can donate a tent to your alma mater, however you can do it, whatever you can do. There's so many things that they need, and some of these things they use year after year. A tent is something that they can use for many,
Many things.
many things, many years. So let us support, let us go out and support. It's CHAMPS, it's Jamaica's legacy, the school's legacy, the athletes, the coaches. It is a team effort. And coach, before we go, you did a great job in representing your team, your alma mater, and your community. And normally I give my guests an opportunity to ask me one question. So I'm now going to give you an opportunity to ask me one question before we go.
Whoa. Who will you be supporting at Champs this year?
No, coach, you can't do that. Coach, you can't do that, man. Coach, you cannot. Coach, you can't do that.
Okay. So you're going to give me another question then.
Coach, I'm supporting all the athletes. All right, I'm going to be honest with you. Coach, you put me in a spot now. You're going to put me in a spot with my people because let me tell you, from I started doing this podcast over a year ago,
Uh-huh.
I have formed friendships with a lot of athletes, a whole lot of schools, a whole lot of athletes. And let me tell you, I've been repping all the school. I've been repping all the schools. But before I started doing this podcast, I'm from St. Andrew, right? I'm from Kingston and St. Andrew, but I'm
Uh-huh.
from St. Andrew. I'm from Red Hills. Listen now, I'm from Red Hills.
Abalak.
Hold on, coach. I'm from Red Hills. I'm from Upper St. Andrew, Red Hills.
Adios.
Yes, my I have three nieces. Their father went to Calabar. My uncle went to Calabar. All the little boys I went to Sunday school with went to Calabar. And one of the love of my life, my baby brother, went to Calabar. I am from the Red Hills community.
Say
So,
no, say
so
nothing.
for years, I have been supporting Calabar because of where I'm from and all the men in my life, very important men in my life, went to the
That is
institution.
understandable, and nothing is wrong with.
And that's what I try to tell people. But I don't want people to think that I'm a Rabalak podcast because I'm not. Because before, people were saying I supported another school. Of course, I'm a big supporter of Very Technical, big supporter. I'm also a big supporter of Hydel. I'm a big supporter of St. Mary High. I'm a big supporter of St. Jago. I'm a big supporter of a lot of
I do, I,
schools.
I do understand, and I think Jamaica will understand.
Yes,
But
I hope they do understand. But I wasn't ready for that question. I wasn't ready.
HP, on behalf of my school community, we have to thank you for reaching out to us, giving us an opportunity to come on, to use this medium rather, to tell of our situation, give us an opportunity to appeal for help. This can only help what we're trying to do at St. Mary High. This can only take us to another level. I'm hoping that after Champs, we could do another interview for us to review what we did at Champs so
Oh
that
yes,
the
sir.
community can know. And I also say to St. Mary alumni, you may not be able to come to Champs, you may live abroad, but there are various media outlets, online streaming outlets that you can go on and you can watch Champs and you can support. You can support St. Mary High as far away as you are. Just give us your support. Faith and courage is the motto that has taken you to where you are. Thank you.
Indeed. Well said, coach. Well said. And it is indeed my pleasure, having you here tonight and the St. Mary crew, because as I said before, I have formed relationships with a lot of our athletes since I've been doing this. And Miss Leleith Hodges have been a very big supporter. And when I say a big supporter, she's a big supporter of what I am doing. And so St. Mary is very close to my heart.
You're
So
coming down
yes.
for Champs. You're coming down for Champs. I'm going to put you on the spot. I am going to put you on the spot. You are coming down for Champs. Come and visit St. Mary High after Champs. Come
Okay.
and do a piece on the surface that we train on. That may bring us the support that we need.
Okay. 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 I got you. I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. I hear you. I hear you. And I like that thought. I like that thought. I like it. And already I am processing. I'm processing. I'm processing. I'm processing.
Okay, good.
But it was indeed a pleasure having you here tonight and, giving St. Mary High School some strength because, one Jamaica, that's what we're about. And give Mr. Barrett
Your love.
my love, yes. Give him my love, my regards. Thank you. And also, I want to thank Kino, who made this possible also. Thank you very much. And we will see you in the stands cheering on
You will see
St.
Mr.
Mary.
Barrett, Mr. Thomas, and myself.
Awesome, 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 awesome. So, Coach, I'll see you shortly and you enjoy the rest of your night and give your team my regards. Give your team my regards. Tell them I send my love and the whole
I,
works.
I know they're hearing you because a lot of them
Okay,
are tuned in.
good, good, awesome. I love that. One St. Mary High.
St. Mary every time. Faith
St.
and
Mary,
courage to the world.
St. Mary, wanna come from. Indeed, indeed. Thank you very much, Coach, and we will link soon.
Okay, good. Have a wonderful night.
You too, you too. And there we had it, guys. Coach Silvera, what a discussion we had, what a chat we had. It was indeed a pleasure having him. Another school in the champs zone. Last Monday night we had Casey in the house. Thursday night we had Calabar and Hydel. And tonight, St. Mary High School out of St. Mary. Of course, Kino is asking me to big up Khalil from St. Mary, a youngster that we are working with. J-Jar is a troublemaker. She's saying, Coach, let her answer. But of course, I'll be repping all the schools. One track hero is saying, big up Akila Barnes, who transferred from Hydel to St. Mary. That's interesting. That is interesting. Guys, thank you very much for being here. Nadine Silvera, faith and courage. Indeed, indeed. One Kino is saying, sounds like HP a plan. Start to plan. Thank you guys for being here. It was a pleasure. Marjorie Paul is saying, St. Mary High School to the world. Leleith Hodges is saying, HP, you're doing a fantastic job. Keep up the good work. Thank you guys very much. Remember to like, share, subscribe. I know that I am not normally here on a Saturday night, but of course, it's all about champs legacy. It's all about Jamaica's legacy. It is all about the school's legacy, the athletes, the coaches, all the people who have made it possible. And guys, thank you very much. And to all the potential sponsors, please sponsor a school. If it's even one school, pick a school and sponsor a school. Align your brand to a school because they need it. And of course, we have produced Olympians upon Olympians. And let me tell you, every parish in Jamaica has contributed to Jamaica Olympic legacy, and St. Mary is one of them. So let us support the schools, big up the schools, of course, send some love, especially tonight is all about St. Mary High School. St. Mary banana chips, Highgate chocolate, everything. What coach said again? The banana school, St. Mary High, the banana school, and we know why St. Mary is doing some awesome things, have their own airport, their own things and thing. Big up to St. Mary Parish and specifically St. Mary High School, the school of Jackie Pusey, Leleith Hodges, Percival Spencer, Nickol Mitchell, Doreen Small, Joe Dean Williams, who just competed at the indoors championships in the 60 meters for Jamaica. Let us big up our athletes. It doesn't matter which school they're from. Let us big them up and support them. Support. So St. Mary, come on out and rally your support around the St. Mary High School. Get in touch with them, whether it's through one of their coaches, Mr. Barrett, or Coach Silvera, or even to get in touch with the principal, calling out the alumni, St. Mary alumni, calling out for your help and the community. So guys, I will see you soon. I should be back here tomorrow night with Titchfield High School. Titchfield, another Girls Champs winner, should be in the house tomorrow night. My work is not done yet for Champs, so tomorrow night should be Titchfield. Rallying some support for Titchfield High School. Vivian Spence Morana is saying she's second. Thank you guys very much for your support. Everyone for your support. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. And I will see you soon. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And tomorrow night I should be back here. I hope to see all of you turning out tomorrow night. Good night. Josiah, have a good night. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for being here. One Jamaica, one legacy, one people. Jamaica, one people, one legacy. Out of many, one people. Have a good night. Thank you.
Jamaica's track and field legacy is unmatched. It is a story of triumph, resilience, and extraordinary talent. But do you know the stories behind the athletes who brought us glory? Hi, I'm HP, founder of HP Chat Track. My mission is simple: to celebrate the rich legacy of Jamaica track and field and shine a light on the incredible people who make it happen. Winning that race was a dream come true, but the journey wasn't easy. It's not just about medals, it's about inspiring the next generation. Jamaica track and field isn't just a sport, it's our pride, our culture, our heart. Every week I sit down with athletes, coaches and fans to bring you stories of dedication, passion and legacy. Plus, we've got exciting news and exclusive insights into the world of track and field. Make your Thursday night be at HP's place. Come hang out with us at HP Chat Track Studio, where track and field is our business. Jamaica, one people.